This is the Nikon Z9 camera. Here I am in Sesimbra with the Nikon Z9 shooting 8K RAW. And why I am doing this video, because lately everybody's talking about the Nikon ZR, but why they are calling it a cinema camera? I don't understand why. Why is it a cinema camera? It seems an old camera that you put your SSD card near the battery. It only have 10 stops of dynamic range. It's really strange.
Now let's look to some facts. This is laboratory tests made by CineKenta, and let's watch noise spectrum in the Z9 and the ZR. As you can see, the noise spectrum on the Z9 is much lower than the ZR. Even though the photodiodes on the Z9 are much smaller, it can perform better than the ZR. On the low, medium and high scores of the dynamic range, it shows a better performance than the supposed cinema camera. So why call ZR a cinema camera when Nikon already has one? The Z9 is better than everything. Better place for the SSD cards, bigger battery, larger body. It can do 8K 60 RAW. Even now you can change the .NEF files to .r3d and be able to color as it was red color science. Now let's watch at rolling shutter. 4.9 milliseconds in Nikon Z9 at 4K and 9.4 milliseconds at 6K with the Nikon ZR. If you look to the scores of the Nikon Z9 in terms of 8K and 4K, you can see there's an increase of speed, so less is better. And now let's compare Z9 and ZR. One is 6K, the other is 8K. And the difference is just 5 milliseconds. And now on these tests, it shows dynamic range, the stops of dynamic range. And if you look closely, after the 10th stop on the right side is just noise. The camera can't see anything but noise in the black areas. On the dynamic range chart of the Nikon Z9, you can see that the stops on the right side of the 10 stop, they show something clearly. They are different from each other, so it means you can read some chroma and luma information inside of them. Now let's look to the battery compartment and memory card. It seems like Toys R Us. Great battery. This is insanely bad. Why put two things that it produce a lot of it together, a battery and a memory card? And when I see this and I see people calling cinema camera, no way. On the opposite side, look, the Z9. Strong battery, strong camera. Everything is so professionally crafted. Is a beast of a camera. In the opposite direction, the ZR, that they call a cinema camera. Okay, I think Toys R Us, they have these small cameras that they call photographic cameras. Are they? Hey, don't get me wrong. Toys R Us, amazing store, amazing toys. I bought toys for my son there, nothing against. But does the ZR can get worse? Yes, it's worst in every aspect. Look, the micro HDMI port, seriously? Against the full-size HDMI port on the Z9? Are you joking me? Yeah, it's a cinema camera. Why? Oh, because on the back it says red. Oh, let me think. If I paint a stone with the word red, does it make a stone cinema camera? No. Look where they put the CF Express Type B on the Nikon Z9. They are very well organized. They are not on the top of each other because together they produce more heat than separated. Everything is on the right place. This is a cinema camera, much better than the ZR. And now, of course, a real Red Dragon. I own a Red Epic Dragon with a PL mount and also the PL motion mount that has electronic and variable filter inside that is controlled by touchscreen on the LCD. These cameras, they don't have 12 stops of dynamic range, they don't have 13, 10, 11, no, they have 16 plus stops of dynamic range. And their image, it's so much more organic than any other thing that you ever see in these days. Of course, they don't have autofocus, they don't have a lot of stuff, but the image, yeah, it's just a blast. Would I recommend this camera? Of course. But if you depend to put food on the table, just with this camera, I would not recommend, because it has a lot of issues that need to be resolved. And as a professional, I would not like to have a camera that has a micro HDMI. The memory card stuck beside the battery. They both together will warp up a lot and camera will heat up, and after you are struggling with heat problems, your camera will stop recording and all that issues. If you think of using as a photographic camera and a video camera, remember it doesn't have an EVF. So you need to have an EVF on a photographic camera. I understand what Nikon does, but this camera in the future will be different. Not like this. I don't understand this kind of design. Although it seems a very strong camera. I hope Nikon in the future will give us something like this, but with a full-size HDMI, the CF Express Type B on the side, maybe an EVF that you can put or take it out depending on the needs. It will be a long way till you see a Nikon camera recording the true R3D, not like this one. This is a light version of R3D, because the real 3D is a codec at 16-bit color depth. It's huge, it's massive color. It has 283 trillion possible colors. It's really insane. Not to mention the dynamic range on my Red Epic Dragon is 16 plus stops of dynamic range, and you when connect the HDRX, you can combine them and achieve 20 stops of dynamic range. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, help me, my channel, and thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much.